Good morning to you. Welcome to Up to the Minute. It is the 6th of October. Good to have you with us. I'm Todd Duplantis, and we've got your HCC news and information for the next half hour. Thanks to our audience on Facebook and YouTube watching us here. You can also check out the rebroadcast of our shows at noon and 5 p.m. on HCCTV. Dr. Tony Rayo Sutherland, my co-host, joining me this morning. Good morning, Tony.
Good morning. Good morning.
So we are on HCCTV. We just started that about a month ago, where we're rebroadcasting the show. So you can catch us, the rebroadcast on HCCTV, but you can always find us in social media.
Absolutely. Just look for Houston Community College District and go to Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, Instagram, Twitter, you name it. We're there on social media.
That's right. We're across all platforms. Make sure you subscribe, follow, share, do it all. So we're lucky to have you with us today. Okay, two special guests joining me today. Bryan Bauhs is an instructor with HCC's art department and official faculty advisor for the Anime Club. Good morning to you, Bryan. Your mic's off there. If we can get you to unmute your mic. Let's see. There we go. Good morning.
Good morning to you. Great to be here.
Good to have you with us. We're looking forward to hearing more from you in a few moments. So I'm going to ask you to stand by. We'll check in with you in about 10 minutes. Our first guest this morning, we've had him on this show, I think a couple of years back. Dr. Nathan Smith is a philosophy instructor, but he's also the Open Educational Resources Coordinator here at HCC. Welcome to you, Dr. Smith. How's it going, Nathan?
Doing really well. Thanks. Thanks for having me on.
You know, we've been talking about this for quite some time. Is this a new trend that's really reaching across education? Because I remember when I went to college, a little while ago, I'll say, and I remember having to shell out, $40, $60, $80 for course loads for books, for classes, which back in the late 80s, early 90s is an incredible amount of money. It's still a lot to our students. You guys are looking to kind of combat that with offering open resources. Explain what that is exactly.
Yeah, so it is a trend, and what we've seen is, over the past 30 years of education, the price of textbooks has increased, 200%. It way outpaces any other consumer goods. That it outpaces the cost of education in general. It outpaces the cost of healthcare. Big expenses. What's interesting is that the trend to reducing costs of textbooks and instructional materials has actually made a dent in that. So if you track the consumer price index, it's actually plateauing in the last 3 years, which does show that these programs are having an impact. So what we do is I try to promote the use of openly licensed textbooks and other resources. So these are resources that have a copyright license that permits other people to freely use them and to share them with others, and even to modify them and repurpose them for their own uses. So we have a lot of that going on, and we're doing it. We have a couple of different programs that we offer, but that's the primary one that I focus on. We try to get the cost of instructional materials down to zero, but sometimes some other resources are needed, such as a courseware platform with homework and things like that. So we try to get it under $40 or less in many cases.
Which makes it much more manageable. I mean, like I said, I remember vividly back in the 80s, $80 for some books for one course, and that was astronomical back then. What has been the reaction from your colleagues, not only here at HCC and community colleges, but also from what you're hearing from university instructors as well? Are they willing to jump on board with this to try to save students money?
Oh, yeah. So one of the cool things that I've been a part of is I helped found a consortium in Houston called the Houston OER Consortium and Houston Area OER Consortium. So we have a number of local universities: Rice University, University of Houston Downtown, Texas Southern University, Prairie View A&M, who all participate in this consortium, Texas A&M University. And they have their own programs that they're offering incentives to faculty to develop openly licensed content, to use openly licensed content. And they're very interested in building these resources and offering degree pathways for students where they can eliminate the textbook costs. Because even at the universities, I mean, community colleges, we're open enrollment institution. We serve students who may not have, even $40 or $80 extra in their pocket to spend on textbooks. But the reality is that our transfer institutions around the area are serving the same population, really, and they have the same needs. And so they're very much interested in this as well.
And we're talking 3 different types of book programs, if better
Right.
term of knowledge here. You've got the zero cost books, which are the open educational resources, the low cost books, which are the $40. But explain the first day inclusive access. What does that mean?
So this is a more recent program. So I think the last time we were on, we were talking about the Z degree and zero cost books. And now we've kind of integrated some different programs. And this is actually the fastest growing program that we have. It's called First Day Inclusive Access. It's a partnership between HCC, the Barnes & Noble bookstore, HCC Barnes & Noble bookstore, and the book publishers, where essentially everyone agrees that we're going to take a little bit less off the top of our profit margins, and we're going to provide a sort of seamless delivery of electronic instructional materials. So it's the publisher materials. It's the same book that instructors have been teaching with. But what they do is they deliver that directly through our learning management system, our Canvas LMS. It's embedded in the course, and students pay for the materials up front as a fee that's attached to the class. But it's the lowest price that they can get for that type of resource anywhere. That's required by the Department of Education, that it's the lowest cost. And so we find that actually students are saving quite a bit of money doing that option as well. And it's been a very popular program that's grown tremendously in the last 2 years.
How many students are saving money through this program, and roughly how many courses do you have participating?
Yeah, I mean, it's exploded so that last year we're like 128,000 enrollments. So that's duplicated enrollments. That's not unique students. So it might be students are enrolled in 2-3 classes through these programs. That's last year. So, and that breaks down, we're getting that's 18,000 in the zero cost column. The biggest one is going to be the inclusive access, where we're looking at 90,000 students who seats, duplicated enrollments that are in that one. So we've got courses all over all across the curriculum. I mean, 500 some courses that we have that are offering these kinds of programs.
I guess the question many people are watching and wondering, well, they remember paying a lot for books, and books just keep going up in price. How did we get here like that? Is it, one thought is, well, the authors put a lot of research in them. They've got to make their money back. The publishers put money into the authors who are researching for years. How did we get here where you're paying an astronomical price for just a book to pass a course?
I mean, I think that there's something to that, in the sense that it takes a lot of money to build a textbook. I mean, you've got to have the authors, you've got to have peer review, you've got the whole printing process. And now we've got software systems that are built to do homework management. It definitely takes a fair bit of money. But, I think, I'm not an economist, but I think what the economists would say is that essentially what you've got is a captive market, right? Yeah. So students don't actually make the choices about what textbooks they purchase. So even though they're paying, they're not actually free to look at the options on the market and pick the one that they think is best. There's good reasons for that, of course, because students aren't in a position to pick what instructional materials are appropriate for them. The problem is that because the professors are making that decision for the students, you don't have some of the mechanisms of a free market that you would expect that would drive down the cost. Instead, you've got a captive market, very similar to the healthcare industry, where a doctor's prescribing a sort of prescription medication. The patient doesn't really have a choice. in the matter, or has minimal choice, then they have limited information. And so you do see in these types of industries, you do see the costs go up dramatically. And fortunately, though, these types of programs are, as I said, bending that curve, and it's flattening. So we are seeing an impact.
Where if students would like more information on how they can access these books or learn more about it, where would you suggest they go?
This is great. So we just launched a new webpage called Textbook Savings, HCC Textbook Savings. So that is up. It's live now. And so students can find that. We're working, and this is going to be in a matter of days. We'll get this actually linked to the My Eagle page. So it'll be part of the links where students can find that stuff. And that'll explain the programs. It'll provide links to the three different options. But the easiest thing, the thing that students really need to do is just go to their one search, their Eagle search, where they're finding their classes. And if you go down to the bottom of that search page, there's a little filter that's called course attribute filter. Mm-hmm. There's only one choice on that drop-down menu, and it's called Textbook Savings. So when you're searching for courses, just look for the Textbook Savings courses. Just look for the courses you're looking for. Look for the times, the campuses, whatever you want. And you'll see a little orange bubble next to your course. And that'll identify it as a Z, zero cost, L, low cost, or S, that's the savings first day. That's the program with the publishers in the bookstore. So just look for those orange bubbles, filter by textbook savings, and you can save. I mean, we think students are saving a lot of money through these programs.
Dr. Nathan Smith, you're doing some incredible work with helping our students, making community college even more affordable for them. We appreciate everything you do.
You bet. Thank you.
Thanks for being on the show. We'll have the links to what Nathan was talking about in the social media post for the show. Nathan, take care.
Yes, we'll do. Thank you.
All right, I'm going to turn things over to Dr. Tony Reyes-Sutherland, who's got another HCC guest for us. Tony.
Yes, and I'm very excited to talk to him. It's Bryan Bauhs. He's the HCC art instructor and the official faculty advisor of the Anime Club. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. It's good to be here.
Anime. I love anime. My granddaughter introduced me to anime. She's an artist and she loves drawing and all that kind of stuff. Tell us about this anime club. When did it first start? And we'll talk about what the art is like.
I'd be glad to. It was founded in 2008, which is when I first began to teach at Northline campus. And I came into the club as kind of almost by accident. A previous a fellow instructor had said, "There's this club you might be interested in." She was currently the faculty advisor, but she asked me to take care of it, and I did. And for a long time, I was just almost a bystander to the whole process because I knew about as much about anime as you probably knew about it when you first encountered it.
Right.
Cartoons and things like that. Really entertaining, but mysterious, you know. But little by little, you sort of search through the different options because there is so much of it that you will find something that you like in that, I guess you could say, a rainbow or plethora of options, right? And so little by little, I liked it more and more. And I stayed with the club because the kids really liked it a lot. I mean, the students at Northline, and not only at Northline, but other places, they really enjoy it. So I stayed, and I'm glad I did.
And it almost seems it's not a club. I mean, you have a club, but even everybody who loves the anime, it's almost like it's a social group. I mean, they have a special. Tell me a little bit about that. I mean, I know that my granddaughter has gone to, like, I don't know if it's a seminar, but special places where other anime artists go. Tell me a little bit about that.
I would say that the friendships inside the club are very deep. I know that there were members in 2008 who were inseparable, and that you will find them inseparable today. I mean, you can actually misjudge. I mean, I thought some of them were boyfriend, girlfriend. No, they're just inseparable friends. That's it. And you can't come between them. They really have a shared life, you might say. But they are very tightly knit and have great empathy for one another, caring for one another. It's not just about the videos and things that they do. It's a lot of other things that actually I'm not that privy to. I mean, I'm just a bystander sometimes to it. Yeah.
I just think that it's interesting because it's not, as you say, it's not just the love of the art or they just seem to be so close to each other. If you're into that, what do you see as being different about this kind of comic art, you might say, as opposed to other? I mean, it looks different. There's something about the characters that look different.
I think from what I've done some research into anime and how it evolved, but it seems as if it evolved from the aftermath of World War II and this shock that the Japanese culture experienced. During that time, we all experienced shock, but Japan especially. And a completely different personality emerged from the Japanese people as opposed to the one we were familiar with in World War II. And I think it's a very introspective kind of philosophy. Sometimes their animes really search deeply through the personality, human psyche. There's sometimes, and they can be really funny, but like I said, there's a complete range of expression there, but it's, I would say, on general, much deeper than Bugs Bunny or something that you would associate with American cartoons. Something that. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say you're absolutely right. I've noticed that it's not comic, really. I mean, there might be some funny things in it, but it's very serious. We had a student at HCCTV who was writing, or I say writing, she was drawing a book. And she didn't call it a comic book. It was very dramatic. It was a very serious subject, but it was all anime, and I thought it was so neat.
We have a lot of artists in the anime club. They have T-shirt design competitions, and I would say that they're young and they love art. They may not be professional artists, but they certainly make a lot of it. And if you ever ask the anime club to dress up and come to a party, Katie bar the door. I mean, it is. I'm using a lot of slang here, but they know how to throw a party. Okay, more than any. I would say more so than any club that I know. They're not shy. They really come to the party, and I don't know how else to describe it. If you ever get to go to a Matsuri or a Comic-Con convention, you'll see exactly what I mean. They don't come with simple costumes. They're elaborate, handmade, I mean, head to toe. It's a truly amazing thing to see.
It's very neat. Well, and so you have the club there, and it's at Northline campus, right? Is it only at Northline, or how does that work?
The way HCC clubs work is that once a club is established, it stays at that campus unless it's somehow otherwise abandoned. And our club did go through a short period around 2010-11 where we didn't have a president, but someone was always ready to step up. And I think, we've had really good presidents, by the way, some that stayed with the club probably longer than they really, had to, because they were really devoted to it. We just got a new president this year. And another thing about anime is that it isn't just Japanese and American. Our new president is from India. She is, there's a full, not just a full range of different types of anime, but the people involved in anime is worldwide. I mean, it's everywhere. So I think it's a very welcoming club. There's no one who doesn't fit in. You know?
What are some things that you guys do in the club?
We love trivia Kahoot type of quizzes. We watch a lot of video and play a lot of games. I'm not a gamer, but I can see them playing and I can hear them play. And it goes on for hours. And I mean, they are very skillful. The way they play the games is truly jaw-dropping. I mean, you think that it's not possible to do the things they do, but they do it.
So what do you see as the focus of the club? What's the mission?
I think it's fellowship, and it's hard to tell whether that's the primary or whether the exploration of Japanese culture and art is primary. It's almost as if they're inseparable. Those two things welded together seems to be the most important thing. And some of them are learning Japanese. I mean, so it isn't just staying in your shell. It's really branching out in a lot of different ways as well. So I think it's can go both ways. I do think they learn a lot in that club. Although it's through osmosis, we're never like we don't give you real quizzes, we're not grading you, right? But it's and the information that they know, I mean, the catalog of information that they carry with them is amazing.
And like you said, it's not just anime, it's, what is it, manga?
Manga as
Japanese
well is involved. Some people branch out into Korean films and videos. There is a K-pop club, but that's a little bit different from what we're doing. So yeah, there's a wide range of things to take interest in. There are some videos that are truly stunning. I remember staying in front of this big, super widescreen TV and expecting a simple little video, and instead what I got was this sort of sunrise and
elaborate,
just amazing, and it was like Beethoven's Fifth Symphony or something, and you're just not ready for that until you realize that's what's going on in Japan. They make videos that are truly different from what we're used to here.
But just real quick, did COVID affect you guys at all?
It absolutely did. During that time, we had a new president come in, and we were meeting online in a platform known as Discord. And we may still be using Discord for a little bit longer, but we have a new president now, and we're reforming the club, and I think it's going to be a great success, huge success, actually.
Well, we are so happy to have you on. I love that art. I love watching it, and just the idea that it brings people together, I just think that's a wonderful thing. We really appreciate you being on the show.
I appreciate being here.
Bryan Bauhs, of course, an HCC art instructor and faculty advisor of the Anime Club. Thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
All right, Tony, interesting. Anime has really caught on. And if you check out, it's serious when Star Wars produces anime short series. And that's it's called Star Wars Visions. And they've reimagined Star Wars tales with anime characters. Some of them connected to Star Wars, many of them just brand new stories, but that's on the Disney Channel. So it's huge when they come out with this big series that they're really pushing right now. Okay, All Majors Career Fair. That is happening. You're looking for a job. Maybe you're looking to get your major in line with a future career. Well, HCC Career Fair is coming up. Have your resume ready and be camera ready yourself, because employers will be there to hire. Be ready, be dressed to impress. 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. That's going on right now today, Wednesday, October 6th. You do have to register. We'll have a link in the social media post for the show. And Hispanic Heritage Month is ongoing, and we're continuing the celebration across our campuses.
Yes. And today or tonight from 6 to 8, they're playing a movie night. It's McFarland USA over at Stafford. And then in addition to that, there's a reggaeton dance class. You get to watch that from the comfort of your home. Actually, you shouldn't watch it. You should make the moves with it. But anyways, that is Wednesday, October 13th, 6 p.m. And you can go to HCC Student Life at hccs.edu to get more information.
Right. Okay. Green Thumb Gardening, HCC Northwest Community Learning Gardening Programs continued with, you ready for this? Plant propagation. All right. 10 to 11:30 a.m. Monday, October the 11th. You got a little time to prepare for this plant propagation. Again, we'll have a link to register for that in the post after the show. And the MBDA has doing their subs and sandwiches as well.
Absolutely. It's going to be Wednesday, October 20th from 11:30 to 1 p.m. So it's very good. Bring your own subs, as they say, because it's virtual.
It is virtual. All right. Women and Friendships in Academia. HCC's counseling department is presenting women's perspectives, creating a space for brave conversation. This month's speaker is Dr. Margaret Price of Ohio State University, discussing the meaning of friendships of women in academia. It's 9 to 11 a.m., Friday, October 22nd. We'll have an email address where you can get more information after the show is over in our social media post. And real quickly, you can register for that anime club, Tony, that you were just talking about.
Yes, you can. Go to Bryan.Bauhs. That's BRYAN.BAUHS at hccs.edu. And you can register for it and have fun with the rest of them.
Okay, shortened classes. We have a few opportunities. I think the next one starts October 18th for a shortened semester at HCC. You can register, but register now. Your time is running out for the fall. hccs.edu/now is the website address. And if you want to register for the spring, that's not that far away as well. Okay, tomorrow on the show, it's Virtual Family Fun Day, and we'll be venturing out to the George Ranch in Fort Bend County. And also we're continuing Hispanic Heritage Month, Tony.
Yes. HCC's Chair of World Languages, Carlos Vieses. I'm probably pronouncing that wrong.
Vieses. There you go.
Okay.
Yeah.
He's going to talk to us about dialects, accents, regional differences, and Spanish-speaking Latinos.
All right. So we'll have all of that and more tomorrow on the show. Thanks for being with us today. As always, we're live every morning, 10 a.m. on Up to the Minute. Catch the rebroadcast at noon and 5 p.m. on HCCTV. We'll see you next time.
If you need to do something to feel okay to drive, you're not okay to drive. Don't drive buzzed.
Being prepared is a part of who you are, but it's especially important in the case of a disaster. Be informed about possible emergencies in your area. Make a plan that covers where you'll go in an emergency. Build a kit with the things you need to survive. There's no one more capable of planning for your situation than you. Start your plan today. Go to ready.gov/myplan.